Good morning and happy Sunday. Once again, I'm doing this without the laptop, so it's kind of different, but personally think it's a better idea to do even though I'm wobbly, make you dizzy. Um, I'm comfortable. Make yourself comfortable, pretend you're talking with me. um, so today we're going to learn about disciples. Does anyone know what a disciple is? And talk it amongst yourselves, and whoever gives the best description, you're the winner. You don't win anything, sorry. um, so the week's passage I would like you to focus on is in Matthew 28:16 through 20. What I'm about to read for you is the last verses of that. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. When we become a Christian, we chose to follow Christ. We don't always do things right, but our lives are different. Because the most important thing to us is God. To be a disciple of Christ means to obey his commands and follow his ways. Jesus not only wanted his friends to tell others about him, but Jesus wanted them to help people become disciples as well. After Jesus died and rose again, he spent a little more time with his disciples. Jesus knew that he would soon be returning to heaven, so he wanted to give some final instructions to the people who had chosen to follow him. So go ahead, pause the video, and read Matthew 28:16 through 20. Jesus told his friend to go and make disciples. This is something that we should be doing as well. Jesus promised that he would be with us even until the end of time. We can boldly share the good news about Jesus' death and resurrection with the people in our lives, knowing that Jesus will help us every step of the way. I have a very simple activity, and I don't think I need to explain it, but I can. Follow a leader. Easy. You can do it with your family. So, just choose a leader. Follow each other in a line, or, be in a circle or something like that. The leader starts off with doing whatever they choose, and everyone has to follow them. Make up your own rules if you'd like. The idea is just to, see how it is following someone exactly. Another activity I would like you to do, I was going to do it for you, but we packed up our dominoes. Dominoes? So, if you have dominoes, it'd be a good activity. If you don't, you can use cards. I don't know what you have in your house. But, I'm sure once I tell you the idea. Oh, guys, we have a special visitor. She just jumped on me. Sorry if you see her tail occasionally in the video. Standing on my book. Okay, so every time I mention someone new in this story, you're gonna set up a domino. And you're gonna set up the next domino in front of the last, and the next in front of the last, until you have a line. And at the end, you get to tap the dominoes and see its effect. So, today we're going to imagine that these dominoes are actual people. Hold up one domino and ask anyone who's listening to this video to help you pick out a name for the domino. So I'm going to use names, but you can use whatever. So, you can start with the first one. This one's named Mark. One day, Mark was talking to his grandpa, who told him all about Jesus. Mark loved hearing the good news and quickly decided to follow Jesus, so he became a disciple. So you set the domino up carefully on the table, floor, so it's standing upright. In fact, Mark was so excited about Jesus that he told his next door named Sam. Sam had heard about Jesus before, but he had never made a decision to follow him. Well, that day, Sam did make a decision to follow Jesus, and then he set up that one. Sam went to church and heard that we are to go and make disciples, so he began thinking about who he could tell about Jesus. Sam had a friend at karate class that he decided to invite to church, and that friend was named Rhonda. Rhonda came to church with Sam for a few months, and one day she decided to pray and become forever friends with God. Rhonda was so excited about her friendship with God, it really changed her life. In fact, her parents saw such a big difference that they decided to become friends with God too. So that's two dominoes. This continued to happen until many, many more, so set up as many as you'd like. You could come up with stories. Heard about Jesus. It all started with one person who told another, and so on. You could cause the same effect. You tap the dominoes right now. Jesus tells us to go and make disciples, and that starts by telling people around us. It could start with one person, many people. It could start with your best friend. It could start with a stranger at a class. Well, a stranger like someone you like, a classmate or something like that. All right. So here's a couple additional activities. Very simple. In today's world, we have access to follow people online. So if you know a missionary, see if you could see how they're doing right now. You could email them, maybe see how they're doing. I'm sorry. Missionaries are people who have decided that their lives, who dedicated their lives to making disciples of all nations. They often move to a new country, learn a new language, learn a new way of living, and work in many ways to tell people around them about Jesus. So you can hear from one just by reading up on their updates or emailing them. If you don't have any ideas, you can message me or pastor's wife, and we'll give you a bunch of ideas. Most of the ones we know are either on Facebook or they have an email address, but I'm sure they are very open to discussing their updates with you and where they are and how their living situation is. Another one, prayer for a friend. So I encourage all of you to think of 3 to 5 people in your life who do not yet follow Jesus. You're going to write these friends' names down on note cards. God brought these friends into your life for a reason. Since we are all instructed to go and make disciples, it might be God's plan for you to share the good news with your friend. So let's commit to praying for these people daily and ask God to give you an opportunity to share the good news. Alright, another activity, but this one should be very common. You should be getting used to it. Talk amongst yourself about building a habit of spending time with God. And there's so many ways to do this. First, Bible. I'm sure all of you have a Bible. Your parents may have a Bible. You may be in a family like me where we have literally 6 Bibles in each room. So go ahead, pull out a Bible, share one with a neighbor or something like that. Talk about the idea of journaling during a quiet time with God. You take a few minutes every day alone to write a few thoughts in a journal about the day's lesson or about your day specifically, how it may relate to what you're reading in the Bible, or even, writing a prayer down in this journal. You can even provide supplies to decorate the front of the book to make it special. Jesus regularly took time to pray and to read the Bible. As a disciple of Jesus, we should follow this practice. So you can think of other ways you can develop a daily habit of Bible reading, prayer, worshiping, something you can do. I like journaling. Journaling's a good idea. A lot of us do that every day at the end of the night or even the beginning of the morning. We write down what's happening in our personal lives. I like that because if you're sitting down and reading the Bible, it helps you think of things you want to say to God or, how it's relating to what's going on in your life. So that's that one lesson, and then we're going on to the sciencey part of it. Follow the leader. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. John 10:14. Did you know people are sheep? That's what the Bible says. Well, sort of. The Bible often says that we're like sheep, and Jesus is the good shepherd. As it turns out, sheep really need a shepherd, just as we really need our shepherd. Why do sheep need a shepherd? Let's take a look at some facts about these fuzzy fellows. First of all, there are lots of sheep. Lots. More than 1 billion in the world. A group of sheep is called a herd, a flock, or even a mob. Sheep frighten easily, kind of like us sometimes, so they like to stick together. This helps them feel secure and protects them from predators like wolves. Sheep also like to follow the crowd, even if it isn't a good idea. Sound familiar? They've even been known to follow their leader sheep right off a cliff. What? So sheep need a shepherd to keep them going in the right direction. How are we like sheep? Well, don't we like to stick with the crowd? Don't we often do what everyone else is doing? Even if it's not a good idea? That's why we need the good shepherd to keep us headed in the right direction. Another interesting fact about sheep is that they can recognize faces. Up to 50 different ones. That means sheep know their shepherd because they spend time with him and trust him to take care of them. In that way, we should be like sheep. We should spend so much time with our shepherd that we know him and we trust him to take care of us. So as little sheep, we should follow the leader. So go ahead and thank Jesus for being your shepherd, because he cares for you. One of my favorite stories. I always say my favorite story when I think of a story, but I really do like these stories. Have you heard of the story of the 100 sheep? One gets lost. Shepherd leaves the 99 behind to find that one sheep. That's how much he cares for us. So, that sheep may represent a certain people or a certain individual in any time frame, any situation. We all matter, each one of us. We are all special, our own individual. When someone is lost, Jesus cares enough to focus on that one sheep and to finding him and put him on the right direction again. So I think it's a very good story to keep in mind, especially around this time. Be amazed. Jesus is the good shepherd in John 10, and stories of other shepherds are all throughout the Bible. Abel, the son of Adam and Eve, was the very first shepherd. Joseph and his brothers were also shepherds. Moses was a shepherd before he led the Israelites out of Egypt. So was King David before he became king, of course. And when Jesus was born, some of his first visitors were shepherds. So there's shepherds all over the Bible. So still remember, Jesus is your own shepherd, and spend time with him. Get to know your shepherd. Hope you're enjoying today, the lessons. Summer is coming up fast. Yes, I believe it starts June 21st. I may be wrong. Happy summer, guys. Enjoy the sun out there. Enjoy one another. Be safe, guys. I miss you all. Hopefully we'll see each other again soon. And we'll see if, I can continue the videos. We'll see. Bye.